So you've probably got a New Year's resolution you're thinking about. You're like, this year is going to be my year. I'm going to start a side hustle. I'm going to get something going on the side so I can eventually quit my job. You've probably said that every fucking year for the last 5 years, but because you're lazy and scared, you haven't done anything. I'm here to help you. We're going to start the side hustle with you right now. So get up from wherever you are, then go get a pen and paper and come back. All right, let's kick this off. Short and sweet. I want you to write your idea down in one sentence, i.e., I want to start selling t-shirts with pictures of dogs on them. Nice and short. I don't want fucking business plan. I don't want paragraph. I just want one sentence. Let's go with the pictures of selling t-shirts with pictures of dogs on them. The next step is we're going to figure out how we're going to produce them. So if it were t-shirts, for instance, I'd go to printful.com. I'd look at how much it costs to produce a single t-shirt. It's probably about $28 shipped off the top of my head. Now I've got my cost of goods. So you need to go do a little bit of research, work out your cost of goods. How much is it going to cost to make whatever the fuck you want to make or whatever service you want to give. If you're doing a service-based offering, like maybe you want to side businesses like dog walking, you need to figure out how much an hour you're willing to accept. Because if you're only going to accept dog walking for $200 an hour, you're not going to have any customers. Conversely, if you're only going to dog walk for $5 an hour, you got to walk a lot of fucking dogs to make some money. So you figured out your cost of goods. That's great. Now, you need to figure out what sort of margin you want. Now, figuring out the margin is like kind of tricky, right? Because as like the dog example, you don't want to charge too much. You don't charge not enough. So generally, like for a retail product, people normally like double cost of goods. That's how they end up with their product, like their sales price. There's a bit of variation in that, but it just depends. So let's say the dog shirt is going to be like $28 shipped. I'll probably sell it for $49.95 excluding shipping, something like that. So think about that too. You'll have to do a bit of competitor research. Have a look, what are other people selling stuff for? How much is dog walking in your neighborhood? Get that together. Now you got a top line, $49.95. You got a bottom line, cost of goods. You difference the two out, you get your net profit. Then you look at your net profit and you think, what is $49.95 minus 28? I got no idea. 49, hang on a minute. It's my calculator. $49.95. It's $21.95, so let's say $22. You're making $22 a shirt, all right? Now, you got to think about, if you're going to start a side hustle, you got to think like, how much money do I want to make a week off this? Like, what's worth my time of giving up like my Sunday afternoon to pack orders or, working at night to do customer stuff? What are you going to give up? So maybe you want to make $500 a week. That's your side hustle goal. With the dog shirt idea, $22.95.
One eternity later.
Is that really that? 500 divided by... Okay, so you have to sell 22 shirts a week in order to make $500 profit. Pretty doable, like 3 shirts-ish a day, a little bit less than that. So now you've got the bones of essentially the financials of your business. You know how much you're going to sell it for, how much it costs, and how much you need to turn over to make the profit you want to make. The next step is you got to figure out if people want to buy this shit or not. Maybe your product sucks, maybe no one wants it. Now, all right, this is a really good time for an aside because a lot of people get stuck at this step. They do all the maths, they're like, you beaut, this is probably going to work. And they freeze like a deer in front of a leopard. Like they see the leopard and they're like, oh no, fucking leopard. And they just freeze. And they're so frozen that the leopard just gets them. Don't be a deer. This is the part where you got to stop being a puss. Balls up, let's go. I don't think balls up's the same. Balls out? Anyway, don't be a puss. You gotta do this. You need to start doing market research. You need to ask people. You need to go to your friends and people who aren't really your friends, because your friends will always try to big you up and they might actually give you bullshit advice. You need to go to people and be like, hey, I want to sell these dog shirts for $49.95. Is this gonna work? Get some feedback. The other thing you need to do, make an Instagram page. Start putting content up. You need to start testing the waters. Now, at this point, you've really spent no money. You've just spent your time. And this is the week over Christmas, so you aren't doing anything anyway besides watching the cricket, so don't worry about it. Start doing this. Start testing it out, seeing what you can do. Then your goal is to sell 5 things. You just need to make 5 sales. For me, if I make 5 sales, I've kind of validated the first step of the idea. You need to make those sales however you can. Harass your friends, harass your family, Reddit groups, Facebook posts that aren't just like Nazi propaganda, anything like that. Just start promoting them. Once you've had 5 sales, for me at least, I think, okay, this is validated and I'm going to start focusing on it. But here's the thing, right? You'll start your side hustle. Maybe you get those 5 or 10 sales and you're like, you beaut, I'm going to start focusing on it. Now you need to spend some money to actually like sample out the products, fulfill the products to people, get some feedback. Listen to all feedback, but don't incorporate all feedback. Because some people will give you good feedback. Some people won't understand your vision and will give you garbage feedback based on what they think the market wants. Don't do that. This is like an experimental phase. This is like your early 20s when you decide to start dating the same gender for a while and you realize, it's not for me. This is the part where you start doing stuff like that. Again, nothing's at stake. It doesn't matter if you fuck up. It doesn't matter if it fails. Who cares? The fact you've started something means you are now 1,000 times further along than all those guys who keep talking about starting something but never do. Experiment, change designs, change styles, see what people want. If a whole bunch of people ask for a thing, sample that out, see what happens. Don't worry this phase. Don't get caught up building numbers and building business. Just try to get your business model down pat. A few sales, changing the product, figuring out what works. Don't get pigeonholed here. There's a temptation here to nail down on that early success and just go with it, but you miss a lot of other opportunity or perhaps like a major flaw in your product when you start scaling. So now's the time to test it out and make all the mistakes. With our business Jitsi, we fucked around for literally a year experimenting with stuff before we got the mix right and we started scaling up. Take your time, don't stress. All right, now you've done it. It's scaling, it's moving. You're inevitably gonna hit a dip. You hit this dip, everyone hits the dip. Not a good dip, it's not like guac or like, it's a good dip. I like tahini. No, yeah, tahini's one of my favorite dips. Wait, tahini's a sauce. Hummus is one of my favorite dips. Anyway, you're gonna hit a dip. What's gonna happen is your initial release and sampling process, you'll tell all your friends, you'll tell your family, people will get behind you, they'll get excited, you get this big peak, and then it's inevitably gonna start dropping off. It'll drop off because the excitement starts to wane, people have seen it enough, they've done their mandatory bought one thing off you to support you thing, you'll hit this trough. This is the bit that you gotta keep working through because this is the bit where most people give up because they start it, they fuck around for too long and pay too much for a logo, they get moving, then they hit this first dip, which is like the bit where you really start building a fundamental business. It gets hard, they get demotivated and they just stop. My number one tip with this is don't rely on motivation to get this done. Set yourself a couple of goals that you'll hold yourself to, like maybe it's post on Instagram 3 times a week, or run $5 worth of Facebook ads a day, or cold email 20 people a week. Whatever the goal is, stick to it and do it even when you don't feel like it. Do it when you're not getting results, do it when you are getting results, just keep doing it. It's like going to the gym. You don't just go to the gym when you feel good, you go to the gym when you feel like shit as well because that's how you get results. So you just keep working on it. Then slowly you'll start pulling out of this dip and you'll start seeing growth in your business. Hopefully you'll get to the point where you can quit your fucking job and just do this thing full time because hopefully the thing you picked was better than your job. Because if you picked a side hustle that's worse than your job, I don't know why you do that. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me. But anyway, that's up to you. There you have it. You're sitting there over Christmas, you're bored, you just want to start a side hustle. I've literally told you the exact steps how. If you want further research or further education, read 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I've literally built a multi-million-dollar business using the steps. It works. Enjoy.